Okay, so I started messing with hooks last night just to figure out how they work. Took their example from the docs page, and they had it all in one file. I put it in its own component because I was making a separate one. So here's their example. Use state returns a pair of things, a pair of items. The first one is the variable that you're setting, the piece of state that you're setting. And the second one is the function to change it. Right? I get that. And I'm using array destructuring, so now these are each declared as new variables, right? Count equals whatever the state. In this case, it's going to be your default state. So right now, at this point, count equals 0. And also, we have a variable called set count, which is, I guess at that point, when it's first declared, it's null. I don't know how it knows, right? So anyway, you have your component return. It puts in count because you don't need to use this anymore because it's just declared as a variable called count. I get that. And for the click handler function, it's now just right in line here. Right? Anonymous arrow function, which calls the set count function, right? Because we did a function expression, right? And so anonymous function calling set count. Set count's argument is just count plus 1. So that's what I don't get so far. How does it know exactly what the function, because this is the name of the function, right? And these are in parentheses is arguments, but we're using an expression as an argument. I know you throw functions around in JavaScript as objects and all kinds of things. It just still seems strange to me. So anyway, it works that way. I get it. Fine. So you throw this. Maybe it must be something that's the way they have React hooks built. It's just this way you throw it in there. Okay. So anyway, I made my own little, just a basic controlled form. You type in, it types what you want. Presumably, I did the controlled form right because it seems to be working, right? So look at last name first, right? They did this exactly the same way they did the example, right? On change, I gave it an event so you can get the event.target.value. So all I'm doing, instead of count plus 1 being what the value of last name is going to be, it's whatever is event.target.value. The event is the change, the target is this input, the whole input, and the value is whatever's in there. So then it sets the last name to whatever is in there, right? And it's up here. Last name, set last name, default state of nothing, right? There's the value, is last name, so it's just like a little loop, just like every other control component. What I don't get is, like, weren't we trying to get all of this? This seems like a lot to have just in line. So I'm trying to pull it out to here, right? Problem is, if you say set last name, if I try to do something like this, it doesn't work because call first name, or okay, so let's see. If you try to say set, it gives you object, an object, which, let's see, what happens if we do this? Let's look at the inspector. Props is getting Unchanged bound dispatch action. So value is somewhere. Yeah, I just don't understand what's going on here. So maybe that's something you can help me with. My point is, it seems like there should be a way to pull all of this out of here, right? So the only thing I came up with was to just, I had to call it something else. Call first name equals that, basically this whole function. Call it something else. But that seems, if we're trying to reduce code, it seems like having to call it a whole different variable seems like the wrong way. So if you know of some other way that that's supposed to work that I haven't read about yet, that'd be awesome. But other than that, seems pretty straightforward. I have a feeling this is one of those, I haven't built a project big enough to find out why this is, what problem this is solving. I mean, unless it's just this is less code, or I don't like writing classes, which, I don't know. I guess if you don't like writing classes, this is a big deal, but the way I learned React was pretty much everything's a class. When I first learned it, I didn't even know you could do a component that wasn't a class, that was just a function. So that's the way I learned it. So it's not a problem to me. I mean, I get that it's more code now that I know, but alright, anyway, I was just messing around with it. Hopefully I'll either figure out the React way to do this, move this function out of here. I don't know, like I said, that just seems like a lot of stuff to have all inside of here. It seems like we're always trying to write the function somewhere out here so I can just call it in here and not have it be so cluttered. But I'm sure there must be a React way to do that besides renaming it something else. It seems silly to have call first name just to have something that seems like it's almost the right name already. Okay, that's it.